chingala chota, chingala, 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 chingala chota, chingala.
Oh, this is good. I can hear you.
Driver's license, registration, no fault insurance. You're being stopped for speeding. Can I see your driver's license, registration, no fault insurance?
I am not required to carry any of those.
Yes, you are.
I'm not a
If you do
commercial.
not provide, you will be arrested.
If you believe you have a claim to make, please write your ticket and I will see you in court.
I can't write a ticket to somebody I don't know who's sitting behind the seat. You need proof of a driver's license.
I'm not required to have a driver's license.
Yeah. I'll send for another unit. You'll be arrested, and I'm going to tow the truck. Central 880. Can I get another unit over there?
I can provide you with an identification.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Okay.
3132. Chingala, 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 chingala chota, chingala, 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 chingala chota, chingala chota, chingala, chingala chota. Policia trying to kill me, fuck white supremacy. This government never loved me. Take back all lanes, no mercy. Policia trying to kill me, fuck white supremacy. This government never loved me. Take back all lanes, no mercy. Nicahuateca, heat off mi lengua. M16 now, that's why abuela. Resistencia para mi nena. Speak your mind, no tienes pena. History books full of bullshit. Spain rape killed and we applauded. Na 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 na, school I doubted. Ba 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 ba, self-taught about it. They called my mom La Negra. They called my mom La India. They called my mom La Fea. Made fun of for the brown skin, insecurity of melanin, as a result of white religion. But fuck that, it's the brown pride, it's the red pride, it's the black pride. Native mutt with the blue eyes, that doesn't get why I cry. All my abuelas in genocide, but guess what? We did survive! Chingala, 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 chota, chingala, chingala.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Good. Do you have any driver's license, registration, paperwork?
I would like to be provided with legal counsel, please. I have the right to legal counsel.
Okay. Do you have any of that paperwork though, or no?
I willingly provided an identification.
Okay. But you don't have any of the paperwork?
I'm not required to carry any other paperwork.
Technically you are.
Can you show me what law?
What is that?
Can you show me what law requires me to carry that paperwork?
Can I show you? Right now I cannot show you, no.
Okay, well...
Yeah. But you're required to have registration of the vehicle that you're driving. Because
I'm not a commercial driver.
Huh?
I'm not a commercial driver, I'm a traveler.
Yeah, but you're traveling on the state of Hawaii roads.
No, I'm traveling on public roads. Publicly owned roads.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chingala, 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 chota, chingala, Mexica, chingala, chota, chingala, Nicoya, chingala, chota, chingala, chota, chingala, 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 chota, chingala, 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 chota, chingala, 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 chota, chingala, chota, chingala, chingala, chota. Policia trying to kill me, fuck white supremacy. This government never loved me. Take back all lanes, no mercy. Policia trying to kill me, fuck white supremacy. This government never loved me. Take back all lanes, no mercy.
Chingala, 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 chota, chingala, chota. Que se chingue la chota, chinga la chota. Nada me importa, nada me importa. Me vale madre, que se chingue la chota.
Chinga la chota, fuck Trump. Chinga tu madre, chinga tu padre.
Chinga la chota, chinga la chota, chingala, chingala.
Chingala, chingala,
Chingala,
chingala.
chingala, 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 chingala chota. Nada me importa, nada me importa. Who the fuck you tryna kill? Who you think you fucking with? Who you really running with? Fuck a cop and fuck a snitch. Can't fuck with no capitalists. Caskets for conservatives. Can't tell me how to live. Was you really hearing the pig? With kids selling sacks to Lock him up, won't let him live. They tell me that I live in sin, but they ain't fed none of my kids. No, I don't think so. Come take a walk, take a stroll. To where? Well, you'll never know. Gotta keep it on the low. When you running from the pole, gotta keep it on the low. When you running from the pole, gotta keep it on the low. Cause me vale madre, nada me importa. Chinga tu madre, que se chingue la chota. Nada me importa, nada me importa. Que se chingue la chota, chinga la chota, chingala, chinga la chota, chinga la chota. Que se chingue la chota, chinga la chota. Me vale madre, nada me importa. Que se chingue la chota, chinga la chota. Fuck Trump.
Chinga la chota, fuck 12, 2016, LBPD, fuck Gardena, fuck Compton Courthouse, fuck the DA in the mouth, fuck them all, I don't give a fuck, riding with my old niggas from Icaza, you know what the fuck it is, Long Beach to the Bay, fuck them all, nada me importa, cause the policía tryna kill me, fuck white supremacy. No government never loved me. I ain't got no love for them.
I'm gonna write them the code so they can go look it up. It's HRS 286-207 parentheses 8. Whoa, 4 cops now. Dang. They're making me feel like a criminal here.
Nana, mire, porque no conocen. Resistencia para su madre, güey. ¿Quién es su madre? Pachamama, cabrón. Pachamama, dale. Hey. Thuggin' for my mama, thuggin'. Thuggin' for my mama, thuggin' for my mama, thuggin'. Thuggin' for my mama, thuggin' for my mama, thuggin'. Thuggin' for my mama. Hey, bro, who's your mama? Yeah, you know it's Pachamama. 100 up on my feet. It's a jaguar running this beat. Stack kilos in a healthy green. Type of shit you supposed to eat. Gold plates up on my teeth. Eat chile, so I spit that heat. That's the heat. Fresh up and know what that's big. Kuto loud on me like a wall on East 14. Might as well a trip to a goddamn time machine.
This is the problem I have. You have no driver's license in the state of Hawaii. You have no proof of insurance. Okay? You cannot provide that. I'm going to tow the vehicle under the Aaliyah law. You need to exit the vehicle.
I'm exempt.
If you do not, you will be placed under arrest.
Look at this
I don't need
law.
to look at that.
Hawaii revised
I'm telling you,
statutes.
if you refuse to step out of the vehicle, you will be placed under arrest by force if necessary. You understand?
You can only do that if I've committed a crime. Please look.
Do you understand me?
I require legal
I've given you one
counsel.
more chance to step out of the vehicle or you will be removed by force.
I'm exercising my right to legal counsel.
You can have counsel after you're under arrest.
You need to bring them here now.
Step out of the vehicle. Step out of the vehicle, Mr.
Please read this law.
Step out of the vehicle.
You are expected to comply with this
You've
law.
already been notified multiple times. Are you going to refuse?
You are expected to comply with this law.
Now, one more time. Do you refuse?
You are expected to comply with this law.
Ma'am, open the door, please. Open the door, please.
You are expected to comply
Ma'am,
with this law.
open the door.
Please
You're getting arrested
look at
for
it.
driving without valid driver's license.
Please look at
Open
it.
the door right now. Ma'am,
Please look at it.
open this door, ma'am.
Sir, can you please look at this law? You're doing illegal actions here.
You're getting arrested for driving without valid driver's license and no motor vehicle insurance.
Thuggin' for my mama, fuck the trauma and the drama. Thuggin' for my mama, yeah, you know my mama. Bacha mama, plan, face, shouty. I get real pouty, real rowdy. If you act naughty, then I get the shawty.
Hey guys, so I'd like to talk to you today about a little adventure I had. It wasn't planned on or nothing, but I feel like life was definitely putting me to the test. So for the past few years, oh, I lost my pen. For the past few years, I've been educating myself on how the law system works and, you know, how to stand up for my rights, basically, and, you know, figure out how the process works. And so basically I was finally put to the test. I have had encounters with the police before, but this was my first overnight stay at their in their custody, I guess. Basically what I was doing was standing up for my right to travel. The officer, like, just straight off the bat started asking me to produce driver's license, insurance, registration, and if I had done that, I would be incriminating myself, and I would have been I guess giving up my right to not incriminate myself. So basically, I'm not a driver. I wasn't driving. Yes, I was traveling in my private vehicle to work, but I have the right to do that. And that has been supported by many Supreme Court cases. And so basically the code that I was trying to inform the officer of was Code Hawaii Revised Statutes 286-2078. But that's a code from before 2011 that got changed to, now it's code, let's see, I believe it is 286-207 parentheses 5 and parentheses 6. So basically what that code says, and by the way, statutes and codes, those are written and based off previous court cases, and codes are meant for government employees to be able to understand the Constitution. So it's kind of like a dictionary for them. Codes don't apply to us unless you've contracted with them, like to be a driver, or, you know, anything that you would contract with a government agency for anything, for like a license and things like that. So 286-207 says exemptions certain vehicles. In parentheses 5, it says a passenger carrying vehicle used for the transportation without compensation of persons for personal, recreational, or entertainment purposes. So if you're driving, do not say driving if you're not driving. If you're traveling for personal, recreational, or entertainment purposes, you're exempt. So basically, if you're traveling on the highways for the purpose of personal, recreation, or entertainment without compensation, meaning you're not getting paid while you're on the road. So if you're a taxi driver, Uber driver, bus driver, then you are required to have license, registration, insurance, because you're making money off the people's roads. And since you're having the privilege of making money, then, you know, to keep the people safe, make sure that actual drivers are being safe and stuff, you are required to have that. But if you're just one of the people traveling, it's your roads. We own it collectively. We're paying for its maintenance, so of course we have free use of it. 286-207-6 for exemption says a passenger carrying weight rating of 10,000 pounds or less used solely for the transportation without compensation of the vehicle owner, the vehicle owner's family, or guest, which means if you're traveling on the road by yourself or with your family, or you lend your private automobile to a family member and without compensation, or to a guest, then you're exempt from requiring license, registration, insurance, and all of that's been supported by many court cases. The one I would like to mention right off the bat is Shapiro versus Thompson, which you can find at 394 U.S. 618. And Hawaii revised statutes support that. And because you have a right to travel, humans have the right to move around. Now you don't have the right to drive, because driving is a commercial privilege. And if we look at Hawaii revised statute, which remember helps to explain to government employees what the Constitution is, the Constitution that protects your rights, it's the limit on government. So Hawaii revised statute supports the Constitution, because anything that is not in support of the Constitution is not law and is not valid and can be ignored. And there's also many court cases that explain that as well. So Hawaii revised statutes 286-2 definitions. The definition of drive means to drive, operate, or be in physical control of a motor vehicle in any place open to the general public for purposes of vehicular traffic. So driving, if you're driving, that means your purpose is vehicular traffic. So what is traffic? To find that, we have to look at the definition of interstate commerce. It says, means trade, traffic, or transportation between two places in the state that originates and terminates within the state. So intrastate means anywhere within the state, from point A to point B within the state. Commerce means trade, traffic, or transportation. So are you operating on the roads for commerce? I know I wasn't. So let's look at the next one. Highway means the entire width between the boundary lines of every way publicly maintained when any part thereof is open to the use of the public for purposes of vehicular travel. So they're supporting our right to travel, because if they don't support our right to travel, they get shut down as a government. And we the people can do that. There's ways. I would recommend look up on YouTube Carl Miller, and he has a 3-part video on there called Know Your Constitution. He breaks it all down in layman's terms, and he gives a lot of references as well to court cases you can use. I would definitely invest the time to watch that. Another really good video is, it's by Mark Pasio, and it's called Natural Law. So that's where we the people live in. We live in natural law, also known as common law. And the constitutional law is based off of that. So the Constitution is like the borders that the government operates within. If they step outside those borders, they're liable to be sued. And there is no judicial immunity for anyone who steps outside the borders of the Constitution. So our job as the people is to make sure they stay within the borders. And if they step out of the borders, it's our responsibility to put them right back in. Anyone who's willingly choosing to work in the government and take a government position, they are, while in that position, they are surrendering a lot of their rights to, do other things, because they have now agreed to stay within those borders of that contract. That's why I don't want to work for the government, because I like all my freedoms. But the thing is, we have to exercise our rights and timely and as quickly as possible assert what our rights are and defend them, because you have to stand up for your own right. You can't expect someone else to come stand up for you. Even with lawyers and stuff, like Carl Miller says, you know your case better than anyone else. Are you really going to expect some lawyer who's a part of the bar association or works, as a public defender for the county or the state? You really think they're going to put your best interest first? Think they're really going to explain all the details of your case? No. Their interest first is themselves, because if they do anything to that's not in agreement with their bar association or whatever, they'll lose their license and this and that. And of course, they're going to make sure that doesn't happen. So you need to learn how to defend yourself. And that's what I'm going to be doing at my court hearing in April. So So basically, what my defense is going to be is, first, I wasn't driving. Second, I'm not a driver. Third, I was trying to inform the officer of my rights, which of course they violated. But that's going to be another case. That is going to be me pretty much suing them, the officer and the county. Or I guess it's the state who's bringing the complaint against me. So I'm going to be suing the officers that pulled me out of the vehicle and the state for continuing on with the charges. They had no right to do that because I wasn't doing anything wrong. But first I have to prove I wasn't doing anything wrong before I can go sue them. So the case that I'm going to, or the court date that I'm going to be at in April is going to be defending myself, proving my side, and hopefully winning damages from that, because I lost time at work. I was held against my will for 28 hours. What else? They impounded my truck, which we had to pay to get it out of there, plus the towing fee, because they wouldn't just release it from the lot because it didn't have license plates, registration, and I didn't have a driver's license. So of course, I mean, I could have tried to explain it to them too, like, oh, I don't need this because of this and that, but like, my battle isn't with them. The tow truck people, they just, they get a call from the police, they go do what they gotta do, they're gonna get paid later. So I'm gonna enter all of that and time lost into my defense, so if I win, I can get that money back. Oh, one more definition that I wanted to talk about from HRS 286-2. The definition of title state or county means any state or any county in any state which issues certificates of title and registration and notes, liens, and other encumbrances thereon. So that's a huge hint right there. So any state which issues certificates of title and registration and other encumbrances. So that means that certificates of title and registration are encumbrances on our right to travel. So if a state is punishing you for not paying for that encumbrance because you have the right to travel freely and encumbered, as I believe was mentioned, was one of the big points of the case of Shapiro versus Thompson. So if they're encumbering you, that means they're making it hard. They're making it a burden. That means you have to go work 1 or 2 hours to go give your hard-earned compensation to them so that they will let you travel. And that's illegal. That's against the Constitution. That's against their codes. And if they enforce it, that statute becomes void. It has no law. You don't have to obey it. No one can enforce it. And if they do, then you can sue them for that. So I choose not to be a driver. First off, because I don't want to be wrapped up in that system. I don't want to be encumbered, I guess. I like my rights. I like, traveling around. And yeah, I really choose not to. I've been a driver in Texas where I was an Uber driver and a Lyft driver, made money off the roads, paid my taxes for that, paid the registration fees, license fees, and all of that. But that's because it was my right to contract. So if I chose to make a contract with the state saying, hey, I would like to make money off the people's roads, this is please certify me that I'm fit to be a driver, and I will, if anything happens on the road, I will be fully responsible for it. I will have insurance that will take care of it. But once I stopped Ubering and driving for Lyft, then I decided, okay, I'm not making money off the roads anymore, so now the license doesn't apply, because it only applies even if you're Uber and Lyft driver or truck driver, bus driver, taxi driver. All those laws only apply while you're on the job, while you're making money. The second you clock out and you're driving home, it doesn't apply anymore. You're at that point, it's like, yeah, it just doesn't apply, because you're traveling to wherever it is you're going without compensation. But you got to know that to be able to timely enforce your rights and speak up and say something, and if you can get it recorded, even better, because that's going to be your evidence in court. And it's much better to fight them in court than to fight them on the street, because the police aren't really trained in Constitution, even though they're supposed to be the ones upholding it. They're supposed to be the ones who know the law, and when they violate that, they can't claim that they didn't know, because they're the ones who have applied for the privilege of enforcing the laws. So they definitely, when they violate people's rights, they are definitely opening themselves up to a lot of trouble. But yeah, if you asked me before, like, what I thought about the Constitution and, you know, all that stuff, like, I wouldn't have cared, really. But now that I'm older, I see that that's really the only way to protect our rights, is to enforce the Constitution. Whether it's your state constitution, your city's local charter, which is kind of like their constitution, and as long as they're abiding by all its laws, they can be a city or a county or, you know, the state, or even like be a part of the union, which states actually is equivalent to country. So there's 50 countries who have united to become the United States, and we know this because I believe it's in the Declaration of Independence, where they called England or Britain a state. So, you know, we know it was a country. So even like, I think even nation state means like country. So basically it means a country has agreed to abide by those laws and, you know, to be a part of the union, to be unified. And the Constitution is really to limit the government. So it's not a limit on us, the people. It's a limit on the government, and we need to learn how to use it. The Supremacy Clause of the U.S. Constitution, and that can be found in Article 6, and it pretty much says, this Constitution, federal laws made pursuant to it, and treaties made under its authorities constitute the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. That means that the Constitution and any treaties made are supreme law. So say, for example, the U.S. and Mexico. There's a Treaty of 1848, and Article 8 pretty much goes on to explain how people of the Mexican Republic who are already living in the areas now known as California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, all at this time, that they can keep their nationality and I guess citizenship of the Mexican Republic, and still continue to live in what is now known as those states. So that would reign supreme over any other law or code, I guess, that the U.S. government comes up with. And or for example, in Hawaii, there's a Treaty of 1849 and the Treaty of 1875. So if Hawaiians like are in court and enforce Article 6 of the Constitution, then only the laws of the treaty and the Constitution would apply in their case. Any other codes and statutes that are not aligned with any of that would be dismissed or ignored. Also, even in the Hawaii Constitution, in Section 9, wait, it's Article 18, Section 9 says continuity of laws. All laws in force at this time, amendments to this Constitution take effect that are not inconsistent with the Constitution as amended shall remain in force, which means the Hawaiian Kingdom is still in effect. It's still in force. All its laws are still in force. A lot of people in the mainland don't know this, but Hawaii is actually a kingdom. It's now called a state, but remember, state means country. So the country of Hawaii is a kingdom. And a lot of people, when they come here, they don't know that. I didn't know that when I first came here. It was one of the things I didn't learn until later on. And a lot of the Native Hawaiian people are under the same stress that the Native American people, Native Mexican people who are Native Americans, a lot of people in South America and Central America, we're all Native Americans. That a lot of us don't know that we can enforce the Constitution and the treaties, and that whatever those two documents say would reign supreme over any other codes that they might try and force upon us. Now, say if it's like a Native American going against a Native American in a court, then whatever the national laws of the tribe or the of that nation, those would be the ones that would apply. You wouldn't even have to apply the Constitution unless one of the parties chose to. But yeah, when you're going up against the government, that's one of the key things to know, is that the supreme law of the land is the Constitution, and whatever treaty, because the treaty is a contract saying, okay, this treaty of peace and friendship means we're going to be friends based on these laws. So anyone violates those laws, you can sue. So yeah, it's really important to get to know the Constitution, because it's a contract in writing enforceable in a court of law. And the better you know how to use that contract to your benefit, because we are the beneficiaries of those contracts, and they're supposed to be enforced in favor of us. But for real, make the time to check out Carl Miller's Know Your Constitution and Mark Passio's Natural Law, and all your concepts will be aligned to, what natural law is, which is pretty much like, do not do unto other people what you do not want them to do unto you. And punishments, or not punishments, but the remedy for that is like an eye for an eye, pretty much. And that's the common law. That's natural law. That's the people's law. We're the only, and that falls under life's laws, I guess, like the laws of nature. And those are laws that we cannot break without consequence. Like, for example, gravity. Like, try breaking the law of gravity, see what happens. But yeah, the Constitution and stuff, those are like contract laws. So if you sign to be a part of that contract, and you sign to get benefits from that, and you're agreeing to the contract, so you gotta be careful what you sign. The constitutions and treaties are different in the sense that it's more the workers, the government workers and employees who have to follow the Constitution. The people are the ones who give authority to the government to govern, as long as they follow the Constitution. So we agree, or we consent to be governed under certain circumstances. Sorry. So, like, for example, I do not agree to be governed in my travels, so I do not apply for driver's license. But I do agree to be governed in commercial trade of if I sell any security products. So if I sell security products, then I've applied for a license to collect the tax to give it to the state. But me and what I do for work, I just like to install, so I don't even have to deal with trying to sell products and then trying to do the taxes and this and that. But in in a lot of those treaties, though, there's a lot of stipulations in the articles saying, you know, it opens up free trade and stuff. So we shouldn't even be paying taxes on a lot of that stuff. But it's good to read your treaties, read the Constitution, and get a good handle on that to use it to your advantage. Because honestly, no one else is going to teach us this stuff. We got to teach ourselves. You got to be very careful what you say too, because a lot of us just commonly say driving just to mean like, you know, just in like the normal way of talking. We'll say, oh yeah, I'm driving a store. Oh yeah, I'm driving here and there. But when you're talking to an officer, you do not want to say you're driving if you're not driving, because anything you say can and will be used against you. And from the moment they pull you over, they're supposed to read you your rights, and your rights are in full force and effect from the very beginning. In fact, there has been court cases where the second they turn their emergency lights on and they pull you over, that's pretty much when time starts that you're the second they turn their emergency lights on is the second when the arrest starts. So you have the right to remain silent. You know, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, and you need to know this because they will not tell you this. They will try and get as much information out of you as they can before they even tell you, oh, by the way, you had the right to remain silent. So, like, when I got taken in, they started doing my prints and everything, and then they read me my rights and said, oh, you can make a statement or not. And luckily I was, you know, in as much control of my senses as I could, and I did not say anything that would incriminate me. I made sure I did not say anything that would incriminate me. I did not say, oh, I used to have a driver's license, but now it expired. Or, oh, I don't have my driver's license with me. I made sure I said, I'm not required to have one of those, or I can't remember exactly what I said, but basically I was very cautious and just very limited with what I said. I did try and get them to read the statute that would, you know, prove that I wasn't required to have any of that. And they ignored it, so I got that on video, and I'm going to fight that as well because they had the opportunity. They had the opportunity for the knowledge, and they chose to ignore it. When they try to ask me, or when they try to have me give over a driver's license, registration, and insurance, and I had done that, that would have incriminated me, because then I would be saying, oh, I am a driver, I am required to have this, but because I'm not a driver, if I had them trying to make me produce those documents and saying I'm in the wrong for not having those documents, you can't do that in law, because you can't make someone prove the impossible. It's kind of like saying, oh, you have a computer, where's your internet receipt, or where's your receipt for paying for internet? And it's like, you don't have to have internet just because you have a computer, and them arresting you because you don't have the receipt of paying for internet when you chose not to contract for that service, that's illegal. You can't force someone to contract with you. When they had me in my cell in Hilo, they had I think it was a pre-trial officer, I think it was, who came to ask me questions, and I gotta look into see if that is, you know, if that was in violation of trying to speak with me when I didn't have a lawyer present, since I did request for a lawyer. I did make sure I let them know of that right, and they chose to ignore that as well. And the second that you ask for a lawyer, all questioning must stop. And of course, they continued, but that's going to go in the suing case. But the pretrial officer said if I wanted to apply to ask the judge, or when I go in front of the judge, if they would let me out. And so after carefully thinking about it, because I don't like to apply for anything with them, because there's always like hidden things that they don't tell you about and stuff. So after carefully considering it, I decided I would apply, because my main mission was get out of there so I can go start putting together my paperwork for, this case, and then the suing case that I'm about to do on them as well. So they were asking me questions. One of the questions was, are you a U.S. citizen? Now, that is a trick question right there, because the first time that the word citizen appears in the Constitution or its amendments is, I believe it's in the 14th Amendment. And there's a duality of citizenship. So it says if, I can't remember exactly, but it's like something like if you're, born in the United States and subject to its laws. So when it's saying and subject to its laws, meaning subject to the laws of the Constitution. So remember, who's subject to that is all government workers. So the question, are you a U.S. citizen, becomes, do you work for the government? And this is where they try and trick people into their jurisdiction. So when she asked me that, I said, I don't want to incriminate myself because of how it's mentioned in the 14th Amendment. So may you please put down American national? And she said, okay, that's what you believe. And I was like, I didn't say nothing. I was just like, just put down American national, is what I was thinking. But yeah, be very careful when you say U.S. citizen, because they can take it to mean two different things. They can either be like, yep, he's agreeing and saying he's an employee of the U.S. government, and now you're subject to all of their laws and rules and this and that. Or they might, not be aware of the duality of citizenship, and they might say, oh, okay, and just take it to mean what it means in the regular sense of the phrase. But legally, it has very serious implications. So say here in Hawaii, you would say you're a Hawaiian national. Or say, in the Americas, doesn't matter, from the very top of the American continent all the way to the very bottom of the American continent, you would say you're American national, because it's what you are. If you're born there or naturalized and stuff. But so a couple things I wish I had done differently during when I got pulled over and arrested was when I wish I had remembered that statute better, because right from the get-go, when he came and asked me for driver's license, registration, insurance, I would have said, under Hawaii Revised Statutes 286-207 parentheses 8. Well, I said 8, but that was for 2011 and previously, because after 2011 and up to about 2014, it got changed, and now it's HRS 286-207 5 and 6, I believe. Yeah, 5 and 6. But I wish I had started with that. I wish I had said, under statute blah blah blah, I am exempt from requiring, driver's license, registration, insurance. I mean, they probably still would have arrested me, but at least they would have known, like, right off the bat, like, bam, there's my defense, And even though I did give it to them after, I feel like, when your adrenaline's rushing, your heart's just, like, beating, like, oh my God, the cops are behind me, they're pulling me over. And, you're trying to think as clear as you can and try and make sure you don't mess up and say something that's gonna, bite you in the butt later. Like, it's tricky for sure. But main thing you gotta do is just keep your cool as much as you can. Don't get aggressive. I know there have been many deaths, even with people not being aggressive. And it's very scary to interact with the police, And it shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't be having a minor heart attack when they turn on their lights right behind you. And that's how I know that we as a people need to get control of the government. We need to remember who we are. Remember that we are the ones in control. We control the government. The way we control them is through the Constitution, through being on the jury. Because if you're on the jury, you can decide the law and the facts. So if a certain law that the government is trying to apply to the case isn't relevant or doesn't apply or is not violated, or mainly doesn't apply to the person because they're one of the people, they're not a government employee, then you can disregard those laws. The judge will say, no, you can't, this and that, but it's the jury that has control. Because juries are mentioned, like the right to trial by jury is mentioned in the Bill of Rights. It's not mentioned in the Constitution section of the judicial branch. So that means that the jury is, it's like a court of the people, by the people, for the people. So the only people who can judge the people is the people. The government cannot judge the people. The only way that they can is if it's within their own administrative courts, because that person applied to be a government worker, applied and agreed to surrender some rights temporarily while in that position. So that's why the right to trial by jury is very important, and you do not want to waive that right, because that's honestly going to be your best chance. And you know, you want to hope that the people on the jury have taken the time to educate themselves on the Constitution and the power of the jury, because that's our way of nullifying the government, and to be able to protect our own people as well. So anyway, enough about that. I'm gonna play a little video for you guys of the weekend after that happened. We met up with our good friends Kyle and Coralie, and we went to I forget the name. It's right north of Mahukona. Oh shit, I forget. But anyway, here's the video, you guys.
Hija de maíz, work the earth, I'm on my knees. Pachamama, one I aim to please. Plain if you ain't planting seeds. Ay, como jodan, ay, como jodan. No te pones tonta, sabes que te importa. Respete a tu mamá, escucha llamada. Ponte trucha a la lucha, ni contra unirse a la junta.
Thuggin' for my mama, thuggin'. Thuggin' for my mama, thuggin' for my mama, thuggin'. Thuggin' for my mama, thuggin' for my mama, thuggin'. Thuggin' for my mama, ayy bro, who's your mama? Yeah, you know it's Pachamama.
I be thuggin' for my mother, all the nature and salons, quite pristine. Wax a buddy ring, damn she looking clean. Yeah, that I mean, dip up in this lake with every breath I take. I'm always in a thankful state. The way she threw me with them plates, organic green, I'm feeling great. Fresh off that land in the dirt, and that's Pachamama. Don't I'm seeing if I let my want me, so damn fine, yeah, I think she want me. I see you, little bitch, mommy. Pleased to meet you, call me faded poppy. Word around town, yeah, the feds they want me. Grandmama told me never join the army.
Thuggin' for my mama, thuggin'. Thuggin' for my mama, thuggin' for my mama, thuggin'. Thuggin' for my mama, thuggin' for my mama, thuggin'. Thuggin' for my mama, ayy bro, who's your mama? Yeah, you know it's Pachamama.